Greetings, salutations. How's it going, guys? It is November 16th, 2016, and it is approximately about to hit 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, nestled close to the Rocky Mountains. I hope everybody's doing good. It's the middle of the week, hump day. Got the afternoon off and felt like ghost boxing. I don't know how fancy I'm going to get things today. Do have a couple cameras hooked up and I'm just gonna go with the fly, but I want to experiment with something that I did a while back, and on the session, I can't remember which session it is, it's in the 80s or 90s. It's called Prototype Box, and I want to use that again, but this time I'm gonna unveil what I was doing since it doesn't matter, and I don't think I'm ever at this point gonna actually. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna unveil what that prototype box was. It was all it was the simply the infinity box, utilizing its different sound bank options. Why, hello anybody that's joining, by the way. Yeah, spur of the moment, and we'll get stragglers. So greetings, everyone watching. Greetings, people in the future. Hope you guys are doing good. Kick back, relax, and yeah, we'll experiment with what I'm gonna do is essentially I went through and recorded a bunch of gibberish whispers of myself just making really weird noises like like just weird random things, and then cut those into smaller clips because the infinity box has, I believe, eight or nine sound banks, and but there's a maximum limit of time, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a minute or two. So essentially sat there looking like a maniac, recorded a long session, chopped that up into a bunch of bits, messed with it, so it's all just essential gibberish anyway. This is just whisper sounds, and yeah, and so now it's in the infinity box. With the infinity box, I can reverse everything, so all that weird whispery sounds I was making is becoming reversed. So that lessens the odds of English, and yeah, just add stuff like reverb, and has an interesting flow, an interesting feel. And so yeah, we're gonna use the infinity box. I can show you guys real quick just what it sounds like, and we're gonna warm it up. So spirits, I'm gonna turn this on, we're gonna warm it up, and we're gonna see if you can once again try to interact and see if you can communicate with us in any way possible. But we think you can communicate through this device here, as well as numerous other crazy manners and fashions. So I'm gonna turn it on, we're gonna listen to it for a minute or two, and I'm gonna start asking a series of questions, waiting 30 seconds or a minute or so in between each one, maybe a little longer, and we'll see if you can maybe try to interact and form a bridge of communication between this material world and the different vibrations and frequencies that is outside of ours that you seem to be coexisting and living in. So all right, spirits, with all that said, here we go. So this is going to be a little whispery and interesting sounding, so hopefully it doesn't creep anybody out. I don't get creeped out by these, but some people think the whispery ones sound creepy. I think they sound cool as hell. So here we go. Speed up the sweep a little. Well, it's nice to meet you, spirits. We're going to open up that bridge. I really would like to only speak with positive energy. Positive style energy, please. High vibrating. You know, just laid back. Just that random beach bum you see that just doesn't got a care in the world. That's the kind of energy I want to speak with today, please. My spirit friends. Hi, how's it going? How are you doing? It's nice to meet you. Who- Whoever you are. You know I can't see you, right? So real quickly, anyone watching? Hello, hello again. Greetings. Anyone? Past, present, future? Yeah, you're not going to see too many snazzy camera changes, and probably not me too much on the camera. I may or may not, but I really just want to focus on the ghost box and just have a down and dirty sesh where it's just me asking a truckload of questions with seeing what happens. I was just reminiscing and going through some old vids and so not too long ago was using the Appy Droid 4. So many times when I start a session, I just start it and then I may swap. Most of the times I swap them through to different ones. But I ended up running an entire 8-hour session, 8 hours and 1 second on using the Appy Droid 4 because I was using this weird foreign language soundbank that I use. And man, it was just saying the damnedest stuff. So 8 freaking hours. My tablet was on for essentially 8 hours. But yeah, so I kind of want to have one of those, just like a deep down guerrilla style, dirty, getting down in the trenches, ghost box sesh. Does that sound good, spirits? These kind of sounds may be easier for you to manipulate. They're closer to what we capture on EVP. This is an instrumental transcommunication test experiment. I'm not here to tell you what the heck is going on for sure, and if it's going to work for sure. It's just an experiment. Take away from it what you will. Unlike 99% of the channels, you never hear me say anything about subscriptions or likes. You guys do what you want. And that's why that's why I decided to, as a badge of honor, and I'm really super proud of it, I decided to unveil my subscribers. Yeah, I don't got tons, but every single subscriber, every single one of those that I've built up, I have not one asked ever or begged or pleaded or did weird things like going into other people's channels and talking about subscribe. I didn't do that with one single individual on this. So I'm really proud of that. Super duper proud actually, because it goes right along with kind of my base creed when I set this channel up, man. And so I'm proud of it now. So I'm displaying it. And yeah, like I said, man, not monetized. You won't never hear me beg. So I just experiment, take away from it what you will. Ain't that right, my spirit friends? We're gonna ask all sorts of questions. I'm just gonna sit back and focus. If I don't have to be on camera, I don't necessarily have to like worry about my position or anything. I don't just have to focus on it, so I can just think of questions. I want to talk about just weird stuff today. Anything, everything. How's that sound? Would you like to try to speak with me? Yes or no, please? Okay, sounds good. When we pass away, does every human become a spirit? Is it every human? Yes or no? preteens, all newcomers. Yeah, I've built up thousands of hours by being 100% open, and by the entire time, never once trying to like act like I know. I pretty much, I tired myself out in some statements that I make. Because I don't know. I'm not an expert. I just don't know. So when we die, is there a transformation from mortal consciousness to some sort of spiritual consciousness? Or does it just happen quick? Or is there some sort of slow, quick or slow? How does that progress happen? I would imagine it's variable. It's a variable. It's not, there's not like one set transition from, just like humans, just like fingerprints, just like all that. Lots of variables. Lots of cooks in the kitchen. Ain't that right, my spirit friends? That's book one of the comic series. It's as far as I've gotten. I'm going to get the compendium here shortly. I guess what that is on screen is the first like 24 or 48 issues. Comic issues are really short. You can read them. You can read like a normal comic in like 10 minutes. They're so short. But yeah, man, I really am into that. I'm really into the mythos and everything. That stinking world. So spirits, yes. Is there a waiting period in some sort of middle period between mortality and spirit? Is there something in between? Like we kind of term it maybe like, I don't know, maybe like a purgatory, some sort of midway, some sort of train stop along the way. Yes or no? So if you're just catching in right now, this is utilizing the infinity box with me sitting down. I wish I recorded it visually, video, and just making a bunch of weird random phonetic whisper sounds, and then chopping those up into smaller bits and throwing them into the 9 or 10 banks. It's 8 or 9, I think, of the infinity box. And then from that step on, I reversed everything. So me just making weird phonetics and phonemes created this weird sound bank on its own, but now I've reversed every single one, and I put reverb on a handful, about half of them. So half of the banks have reverb whispers and half of them don't. And now we're going to try to use these sounds, these phonetics, and see if they can manipulate them, because one of the main theories is through some frequency change or adaptation or who knows what, they can change these things and possibly from time to time either get their voice straight through it or manipulate the words somehow. Or who knows, maybe they can somehow alter time slightly when it comes to sounds, and maybe they know what sound a DJ is going to say, or maybe they can manipulate a DJ on the other end of the radio to say a certain word at a certain time through a form of possession. We really don't know. Could be that. But, so hence with the whispers, kind of more EVP-esque. So maybe they can manipulate the whispers a little easier. Can you manipulate whispers easier, spirits? Yes or no? I love how it sounds. Oh, another reason why there may not be a lot of camera changes, I just remember this because I haven't done this in a while, is when you actually are running sound through the PC as you're doing your dang hangout. When you change cameras, it mutes whatever you are playing, and it never increases it back to normal sound when it comes to programs. YouTube videos, it does. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I never spend enough time, and I'm too lazy still to sit down and do encoding one of these days. I'm just getting deep down, back 100% to my roots, just deep down gorilla, super gorilla, ITC, deep down and dirty. All right, Spirits. So one of the experiments I test throughout every session is a name experiment. Your name and my name. Can we first see if you can say my name through this box? It's a way I can tell you're here with me because as of current, I cannot see you, hear you without aid of a device, or feel you. Maybe, perhaps I can sense, but meh, I don't know. I don't know. So yes, can you please try to say the name Rusty now for a minute and see if we can experiment with that, see if you can manipulate it. It's a way we can kind of show the world that this may work. Try to say my name, please. Come over to this device. This weird black gadget in my hand. Try to manipulate the energy in it. Or this weird black object over here sitting. It looks like a book, kind of. And I'm speaking like this just in case you don't understand what this technology is, because it seems like some energies do and some don't. It seems like it depends on, like, I love trying to look at it like more just with an explanation of frequency and airwaves. It depends on where you are at in this scale, this spiritual scale, up and down. And some ideas is that you're flowing through this up and down vibration of consciousness, unhinged mortal form, and you may be able to control it and may not. So don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged if you're not getting through. Keep trying. Try to say Rusty, please. It sounds a lot like EVP, basically like a more pumped up EVP. I really like how it sounds. Did you hear it? I thought I might have heard it. Thank you, Spirits. It's hard to tell. Well, it's nice to meet you this afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon. It's actually still kind of warm around here, which is a little odd, Spirits. We should be getting snow by now. Do you know why we're not getting snow? We usually have snow right around Halloween. Thought I might have heard my name there in the back again. Well, I hear you. Some people in chat heard my name. I think I may have heard my name once or twice. So thank you, Spirits. We record this. That is the purpose of recording and displaying, is to get the third-party confirmation as well. So I recorded this sound bank quite a bit ago, at least 4 or 5 months ago. So I can't remember it verbatim, and if any words slipped in when I was doing my original recording, there may have been short sounding words like butt or gut or something when you're just talking and you're trying to say random things that come out accidentally. But it's all getting reversed through this system that I'm using. So yeah, because I originally recorded all that stuff for AppyDroid 4, because AppyDroid 4 lets you have 6 banks and long banks too. So I originally recorded like this really long sesh. And so yeah, when we're hearing English out of essentially reverse gibberish, me making whispery sounds anyway, that's fascinating. That leans towards the idea that these things are able to bend and mold these sounds to some degree. It's so interesting. Thank you, spirits. Well, can we ask who we may be speaking with today? What is your name, please? Greetings, everyone that's joining. All my human and spirit friends. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. Moving on evening over across the pond. It's getting dark here early, and it's getting kind of cool, but no snow, nothing, no frost. Oh, I guess we've had a couple frosty mornings, but no snow yet. Middle of November. I live a mile high in the sky. I'm way up here where it snows, so it's weird. All right, so I just started rambling on. Let's go back to names. Please try to tell me your name. I'm gonna try to catch a name. I'm like Amy. Amy. Okay, we're gonna stop with that. What I like to do is, if I can make out a clear name now, I'm just going to approach Amy with a line of questions, please. So for the next 5 minutes or so, Amy, if I caught your voice, dear, let's try to speak through this device only. And other spirits, just hang out, kick back, smoke them if you got them, and we can go through and I can try to isolate names and ask them. I may have misheard. It may have been a different name, but I'm just going to run with my gut on what I heard here at the moment and just go with it, because there's only one direction to go, and that's forward. All right, spirits. Amy, how you doing? Are you okay, Amy? Yes or no, please? No, maybe. Okay, Amy, can you tell me? I want to learn something about you. Can we find out first how old you are, Amy? How old are you? Just in case I missed it, I'm going to ask it one more time. Can you tell me how old you are? My speaker's doing this weird thing that it does. It does a Oh, you heard that? You heard some weird thing, huh? Okay, Amy. Well, dear, can you please tell me how did you pass both your class? Can you please tell me what happened to you? I'm getting some weird interference, guys. Hold on. I think we'll pass. My computer may be like downloading it. Hopefully this sounds a little better. I may have to refresh it. Sound any better? Hopefully it clears up. Yeah, let me know if it does clear up, guys, because then I'll refresh. Refreshing should clear it up. No, that's what it sounds like. It's really faint on my side, but I can hear it in the speaker. It starts like that faint cell phone clicking when you're recording something on like back in the day on your computer or something. They probably still do. Well, what it is there's like I'm using both Wi-Fi, so like the bunker in me just makes me think that every once in a while there's like a burst and it overflows or something. So it does. I've used this a ton, and it's only energy. Now, what is that energy? Could be spiritual. Could be just maybe a truck drives by that's blasting its CB. I don't know, but seems like it cleared up on you guys. Loud on your side, huh? So that was getting picked up through the recording process. The actual. So weird. I'm gonna have to check that out. Where we at? About 20, 25 minutes in. Weird. See, I still, I can't say for certain. I have that really interesting documented incident with my K2. Well, I have a handful, but one of the first ones was really interesting because it lasted a while, but I still can't rule out it wasn't some weird burst. But yeah, I mean, it could be spiritual. I mean, it's the same idea. That's especially in my line of thinking, really, currently, because it just feels so good. Is that yeah, they're just these forms of weird vibration, really no different than a radio signal. So totally, and that's how they can knock out other power supplies and stuff because they're an energy burst of some sort of undetected energy currently, which there's all sorts of stuff we've yet to detect. I mean, that's why dark matter is so interesting because all the fancy pants scientists believe they figured out galaxies are spinning at these crazy freaking speeds that they really should have been torn apart. So there's something like counterbalancing with gravity. And that's what we're labeling that dark nothing we just don't know. I don't know much about it, really, to be honest. I know like really surface stuff, and there's a lot of stuff we just don't understand, don't know. There's still light spectrums that we're yet to discover. All right, Amy, I got totally sidetracked here. I'm sorry. If you're still around, Amy, can you tell me what was your favorite thing that you used to do when you were like me? What was your favorite thing? Men in Black. Ever since I started this, I've wondered. I've really Yeah, that's funny. All right, Amy, I'm gonna let this now end, and I'm gonna just let you say anything you'd like to say to end this, and then I'm gonna try to ask for another name to come through the ghost box if we can. So just go ahead, Amy. Tell us anything you can that you can say to this box, please. We're just gonna listen. I am something. Okay, that was interesting. Keep going, Amy. Another minute. Try to get anything you can through this box, and we're gonna ask another name to come forward. Ah, yes. I might as well go over it one more time because I may be using this for a while because I'm really liking it so far. A a few months back, it was a while ago. It's probably longer than a few, but I made a prototype box with all those whispers, and essentially, it's just the infinity box. I was just being super sneaky because I just wanted to see what people would say if they didn't know what exact box it was. But this is that same thing, and yeah, it's just so it's essentially a bunch of sound banks of me sitting there for a while doing a bunch of weird whispery phonetics and sounds and just weird things, and then chopping those up smaller banks, throwing them into the infinity box, and reversing all that and adding reverb onto a handful of them. All right, Amy. So now we're gonna see if we can get another name through this box. Whoever's next, you've been patiently waiting. We're gonna listen for a name. Who are you? One at a time. Just come over and try to introduce yourself to this. Yeah, they're all little old me, just with like I added. That's another thing I guess I forgot to mention is when I recorded them, I took that initial sound. I had to chop them all up, but I put sounds, reverb, and stuff into that, so it sounded slightly different. So it works really good. And my gut really likes the idea of a whispery type sound bank to perhaps allow them to get more closer to their actual spiritual verbal, their real time spiritual verbal sound. As far as we can ascertain through now years of experimentation, we can hear them speaking. And it sometimes is louder. It sometimes sounds more like how we talk, but the majority of them are whispers. I say that's pretty undeniable. The majority are whispery. Yeah, they're all reversed. And I did this 4 or 5, maybe 6 months ago, so I don't remember exactly if I reversed the initial one. So that's why I went through and just reversed them all. It's all just gibberish. Like if there is a word that I somehow popped up when I was recording, it was completely accidentally, like saying something short, like butt or gut or something. That's the only thing I can really, if there was something. you shouldn't hear weird things like anything really. But I can't 100% confirm that stuff. I just have to hope that after this time I've built up some sort of trust reputation through my actions and the way I present my channel and myself. So it's the best I can do. Well, I at the time, this came out a little bit before, or this, I the Murmur box actually came out not too long after this. So I kind of had an idea of maybe approaching like somebody to help me make a whispery type box, but then the Murmur box came out and I actually really liked the Murmur box. So I just never decided to pursue any of that line. And I think at this point I may stay with app production other than stuff like skins. Because I actually, back in the day for one of them, Appy Droid 1 or 2, I had a Pugs help me make a skin for one of them. So I have a cheesy skin from back of the day that I made. It might have been Appy Droid 1, actually. All right, I totally got sidetracked, Spirits. We were chit-chatting about this unique sound device creating. Is it helping you? Yes or no? All right, so I'm going to try. I didn't hear it. I thought I heard Amy on the last one, so we're going to try this again. Please, one at a time, come through and try to tell me your name and this device. Thank you, my spirit friends. We're going to, you know what? We're going to, I want now, because of the flexibility of it, I actually have a combo pack of the whispers and weird, funky reverse foreign languages, which are German, Latin, and what was it? German, Latin, Russian, male and female, a mix of different ones. So now we're going to do that one. Okay, let me screen share this and see. You can look the labels and stuff. So I need to reverse. Here, let me screen share. So yeah, I have whispers, German male, reversed already. So if I reverse this, then it'll be forward German, which who's that? Maybe I should reverse some of that. Let me reverse all these. Where's the other whispers? Let's add another whisper. Let's go 6. Why not? I don't know. I don't know any of them from one. I honestly have touched this in months, so I completely forgot I had this little whispered thing. Yeah, it's whispers 1. Okay, cool. Let's go with that. All right, so what do we got? Whispers 2, German male reversed, Latin female reversed. Let's put some reverb. There's reverb on that. Whispers 6. Let's reverb it. Let's add a little more reverb. That's another feature this has. You can adjust. Like say the echo, you can make it more or less echoey. I'm assuming less is less. Yeah, so I wanted an echo on that. German male or German female reverse, Latin male reversed. Whispers, reverse, 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 reverb. I don't know why this one, I still can't, I haven't figured out this whole time why this one is at the bottom. So it's 10 banks plus this background bank. And by default, it comes with one called Tibetan bells, but I never hear like Tibetan bells. So I don't I don't know what that is. A less frequent one? Really don't know. Yeah, so once you get it fired up, you just hit Ghost Box. You can have the silence on or off. The silence essentially slows it down. Watch, I'm going to turn the silence off and it'll speed it a lot up. We'll get a barrage. I just heard Aaron, and Aaron's watching. There's an Aaron watching. Whoa. Which I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like familiar with the energy because of how much I've interacted with good old Steve. And we both have had our names come through on each other's ghost boxes. It really helps to kind of slow it down and make it just not breathe. Make it so you can breathe. Spirits are working. Sounds like I'm getting that interference again. Everyone is joining now. Experiment. Go back and forth. What's the deal? There it comes back. It lasts. It lasts 10 to 30. It just pass through this. Oh. Weird. What is going on? Don't have any damn 9-volt batteries. I wish I could get it. That's 2 times the spirit, or it could be energy of another manner, or spirits, but that is definitely energy because it's messing with the sounds. Really weird. Sounds like a fax machine. Huh? Weird. I mean, it could deal with like the low batteries on these, maybe. Who knows? Thankfully, it's brief. All right, spirits. Well, all right. Let's do random chess now, actually, and then submit. Does that sound? What? That one keeps coming through. When you hear one that keeps coming through, then you gotta wonder if that's spirit or just the sound somehow sounds like that in the sound bank. What the hell is doing that? Here, I'm gonna try plugging in the speaker. Maybe the speaker's lacking juice. Weird. Who is messing with the electronics, please, my spirit friends? Are you trying to communicate with me? Are you trying to enter this speaker in my hand? Yes, it seems to come and go, real brief. 3 times now. That's happened at least 3 or 4. What's up with that, spirits? Are you manipulating this audio to a degree that it's overpowering, maybe? creating feedback or something? How are you doing it? Are you flying through this, for lack of a better term? It sounded like it's saying freaking Aaron, and I don't know why it would like say but that could be the sound bank and just how it picked up. Aaron's here. Do you have a message for Aaron? There is an Aaron in chat. If you have a message, let's take a minute and see if you can get a message across. Maybe a word will stand out to him. Please go ahead, Spence. It's just weird that it's a name. At least that's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong. Oh, kind of sound like Red Rum. See, that's where you got to start paying attention to what you're like. I got to get that out of my head so I don't just hear that and think that. I got to just clear my brain. Well, he's listening. Go on. If you have a message for him, please keep going. Just another minute. He may notice something. Do you have something to say about maybe him and his uncle's next experiment in paranormal? Well, thank you, spirits. I want to make sure all the whispers are reversed. Yeah, all the whispers are reversed. I'm just gonna add reverb to everything now. Let's reverb it up. All right, spirits. Well, my name's Rusty. It's nice to meet you. We've been doing this for a while. I'm sure it's like some sort of, I don't know, moth to a light that more spirits gather around. So here's a chance to try to get some more names. My name's Rusty. It's nice to meet you. Can we see if we can get another name through this box? One at a time. I'll try to hear one name, and then we're going to talk to that person if I can. If not, I'll just start asking some other questions. So please go ahead. Well, what's weird is we were just using the same sound ghost box. The same. I was using all the same ones. In fact, I had doubles of just all the whispers because I only have 7 whispers. And so, why weren't we hearing that for the first hour? That name. That's really weird. It's just something that kind of popped out. We're using all the same the whisper sound banks. And I reversed them too, just like I did on the first one. But they sound different. It's really weird. That's why I was curious if one didn't get reversed or something. But they're all reversed. Okay, I heard Oswald right there. That's a name that stood out. It's a unique name, Oswald. And it's more of an old time name. It was more common back in the day. Oswald, it's nice to meet you. Can you tell me, how old are you? Can we kind of get an approximation? If you're young or old or in between? How old are you? Yeah, the whispers are much louder than the voices, the foreign language. If there is an Oswald currently trying to communicate with me, can you please tell me how you passed from your mortal form? Yeah, this isn't going to be a super long session too, guys. Just a heads up now. Are you okay? Is there something I can do for you? Is there something I can do to help you? At the end of the session, I'll just probably do it off screen, offline. That I can read a handful of kind of solace prayers, perhaps, that may help you traverse to this next form or dimension that you may be seeking. So, would you like me to do it at the end of the session, spirits? I have a few different prayers from different religions and ideas and practices. Weird. That was a mix of a few different whispers. Greetings, everyone is joining now, just experimenting with this weird mix of whispers, gibberish whispers and gibberish sounds. See, they can't, here, hold on, I'm gonna unreverb some of the, you can't quite make out the foreign language part quite as well when you have those on reverb. So let me take a few of those off. I'll have a couple of them on. Yeah, let's leave a couple of them on. And I'm just, well, I don't need to reverse those. All the whispers are reversed. All right. That's what I like about this. You can really toy with it. Try different things, try different sounds. Hey, experiment. Hey, spirit. Hey, experiment. Why am I saying experiment? Hey, spirits, I'm going to roll a cigarette. Would you like to enjoy, partake in a little, it's natural Native American tobacco, my spirit friends. Would you like to partake in some smoky smoke? I don't have to smoke the cheap stuff anymore. Cheaper, I guess I should say. Ironically, spirits, even though this bag costs more, it's because you get a little more inside of it, and I'm able to stretch the slightly more expensive one into way longer than if I was to buy the cheap bags. Those freaking things, they only come with 30 papers. Mine comes with 50 papers, and I always go through them, and I always have to have an additional set to have my still what's left in there. So I get a lot more out of this little deal than the other one. No spirits. Would you like to have a drag, my spirit friends? Nice, spirits. Here I go. Gather around if you'd like to have some of this tobacco with me. Oh, that was a weird sound. Were you inhaling? That sounded like a big inhale. What kind of tobacco? Do you like this kind of tobacco? Let's see if it has like a term. I seem to get responses off tobacco, which makes sense, man. It was big, especially back in the day. I mean, it's still big, but oh, what kind of tobacco do they call this? I think it's on the front. Yeah, because sometimes they call it. I guess it's just Native American because there's like Turkish tobacco and some other ones. Would you like some coffee with this? I have some coffee we can sip on too, spirits. Yes, do it or something like that. Yeah. Okay, slick. Hey, thank you for that link. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I've been thinking I really need to do that because I like to buy video games and such online just because they're so cheap. I mean, I can get video games cheaper a lot of times than at the video game local stores when they're used and they're scratched. I can generally get new cheaper. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm looking at it right now. Awesome. Yeah, it's just plain old black coffee, spirits. Nothing fancy today. What's your favorite kind of coffee, my spirit friends? I don't think I've heard the interference once since I've plugged the speaker in. So it may have been due to the speaker itself being low and pumping out some weird thing that was being caught by my microphone or something. That was really weird. I don't think I've heard it since I've plugged this in. Running? Are you running? What are you running from? Please tell me what are you running from? Sorry. Sorry. Something camera? Well, it's hard to make out everything, spirits. That's something I guess I should explain as well that you may not be aware of is that, you may be talking and getting a lot of words through here that are meant for me to hear, but I'm just missing them because of numerous factors. So, just want to let you know that. What other things did you partake in your daily vices, spirits, besides maybe coffee and cigarette? What other daily vices did you have? Yeah, going to what they're saying in chat. Yeah, that's that. It just reminds me of that movie Layer Cake at the very beginning. It's a what's his name? I can't remember that one. He's that fancy action British director. I think it's one of his flicks. And the new James Bond. Oh, frick, man, I don't watch movies like I used to. So he's in it. And anyway, at the beginning, he talks about like once the government realizes how much money there is actually to be made as well in the legal side, it's just a matter of time. And he's like walking through a drugstore, and all the aspirin and like Pepto Bismol and stuff starts to change into like all these like cocaine and meth and like all these drugs on the shelf. And I mean, it's a matter of time. Like the Colorado did it, and there is tons of money being made for the state. There is construction going on every freaking where, man. And I gotta wonder if it's real, if it's not partially due or entirely due to our loosening the grip on it, making it more accessible, because there is a lot of money. And one of the coolest features of the bill originally was that um, after it makes its 30 million a year or whatever, a good old chunk of that too is going to be going to school. Like I think the majority of that extra stuff is going to schools and stuff like that. And like so, me personally, I've for pretty much ever I've looked at it in the same kind of light as alcohol. Like it's really in that same kind of category to me. So I think it was just a matter of time. So yeah, I mean, nothing changed here. Nothing really seems to be changing anywhere. In fact, I think in Colorado over the last year or two, it had some of its lowest crime rates or something too. I remember hearing something a year or two or three ago or something after it all went through. So I can't say one another. I think it's very important that everybody makes up their own minds about things and choose their opinions and sides on it, and be proud that you have that opinion. And I'm never going to take that away. I respect that opinion no matter what, even if it's misaligned with mine or we're both on the same track. It's our own views, and to each their own. We learn and grow from all experiences and all angles. Ain't that right, my spirit friends? The spirit realm is a continuation of this learning and growing. Am I right, my spirit friends? Yeah, it's true. You hit it right. All with schools doesn't make a lick of difference without the proper teaching. It is so true. It is so true. Because it's like, yeah, I've had teachers that were the coolest people ever, and then I've had teachers that just like them. Like why would they? Some of them, it's like, why would you? They just seem like they just so didn't want to be there. It's like, so why are you here? Why are you teaching if you don't want to be here? I wouldn't want to stand in front of a bunch of snot-nosed kids every day if I hated it. I don't know. I've had some really awesome teachers, though. Big influences in my life, for sure. Giant influences. Thank you, wherever you are, Mr. Yeager, Mrs. Winslow. I'm trying to think of another couple early on ones that really I loved. Mr. Yeager was always my favorite. He actually wrote a short story, I guess, or something that was like inspired by me. I never read it. It was like fourth grade. I remember seeing him years later. Years later. It was really weird. We only talked briefly. But I literally hadn't seen him in like 20, 25 years. And as soon as I saw him, I knew it was him, like immediately. It was so crazy. That's a trip when you see someone like that. Spirits, my aunt was a teacher down in Southern Colorado. I think she still even though she's retired, she still goes back from time to time and substitutes. But she was big time teacher, loved it. Had did all sorts of different class ranges and ages, and she's a really funny lady too. She's a really fast-paced lady. She talks really fast, and when she gets going on some stuff, she's funny. Spirits, who was your favorite teacher? Do you have a favorite teacher? That'd be cool if we hear a Mr. something or a Mrs. something through the box. Can you name your favorite teacher you ever had, whoever you are, my spirits? So now what I'm going to do, spirits, is I'm going to cut out all the whispers. We're going to change out the whispers, and so we're just going to have normal sound for a while. And then I got to go through a different route. And then we'll go back to the whispers in just a little bit. And then, you know, I don't know how long we'll go. We'll go maybe another hour or two. And we'll see what sort of interesting experimentation that might fall onto us. Yeah, I have to go through this weird funky route to, there we go, organize, Ghostbox apps, Infinity Box, word banks, there we go. There we go, all right. German male, Latin female, sure. Let's go with German female, oh no, Russian female. And Russian male. All right, so I'm gonna leave one whisper on that bottom bank, the background bank, and see maybe if we can figure out what the hell that I still can't figure out exactly what the background bank is supposed to even do. So yeah, this is going to be all just sounds now. No more whisper spirits for a bit. This may help from changing, may help, it may hurt, but let's experiment with this sound for a while, please. It's a little quieter, so I got to turn it up. Yeah, there you go. So this is all in theory, just a bunch of gibberish. So when we hear English, we can able to hear you better. Gather around, try to manipulate this for a couple minutes, okay? I'm just gonna let it play for 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna start asking questions through this modulation of this sound. So go ahead, spirits, please. Just go ahead freely, speak and manipulate this energy.
Движение, вот такие нравы. Понятно. Отличный суп. Но, ладно, дай. Апел. Киса. Умня. Ой, хайда. Jo, wat zo. Hey, wat in? Kan ik zeggen? Hey, почему? Я не буду. Прав. Иду. Что там говорится? Ini nормальный. Легче. Вот. Prima non si mette. Si lo snap. Что посмотри? Ja. Что поедет? Он не спит. Ему. Меня. Кинет. А. Не смог. Смотри. Это предложено. Вижу. Ich wieder dagegen. Veränderung. Иди. Лаушевый. Ja, lekker. Не руби. Меня что, выделили? Зайдем. Видишь? Обшар. Вот он как. Ну, вина уже что? Разбираться лучше состояние. Да. Может. Любоши. Кимкар. Тёмный. Меня. Будет чрезвычайно. Ой, ты видишь,
Thank you, spirits. All right, I'm back to ask questions again. So here we go. We haven't tried the rusty experiment in a bit. Can you see if you can try to manipulate these sounds and say rusty back through the box for me? It's a way I can verify you may be here. So please go ahead. Try to say rusty. Spirits, did you see the supermoon the other night? Have you been watching those big old close moons in close in proximity? It was super clear here, like every night, so it was so bright. It was crazy. Is it true that the moon is made of cheese? Where the heck did that old myth come from? Why cheese out of everything? I guess because of the holes and lump or craters. All right, so now we're just what's that? Spirits. Hello, nice to meet you. Hello. Yeah, random general questions. Anyone can answer. If you can, okay, please try to come over and manipulate these sounds just somehow. I can't tell you how it's done. It just seems that you somehow know how to do these things. My idea, if I can try to explain it in a nutshell, is that you're just like kind of a form of radio wave, a frequency, and that you can somehow manipulate similar frequencies or tune into certain ones. Or I really don't know. It's kind of sound like rusty. Hello, or musty, or I heard musty, or I apologize. I can't quite debunk this. Like, why does it happen on sessions now? It could be all sorts of weird energy sources. Yeah, I can tell when it happens. I can feel the speaker start to click when it starts happening. It's really odd. Spirits, the moon is fascinating. They say the moon is moving slowly away from us year after year, and so if we would have traveled back to the age of the dinosaurs, the moon would have looked a lot closer. Have any of you spirits seen the moon that's big like that from long time ago? You could be a spirit that's thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. We don't know what lives. We don't know if a humanoid thing may have coexisted right before the dinosaurs and the dinosaurs ravaged through them. Who knows? We just don't know. We got good guesses. Guesstimates. They're all guesstimates in the when you at the end of the day when you hang them out on the clothesline. They're all just guesstimates. Can you go back in time and see the dinosaurs? Dinosaurs are crazy. I remember when I realized that all the dinosaurs we've grown up with are just really artistic interpretations, and we don't know for sure if, say, the T-Rex actually looked like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, but in everyone's mind, that's exactly how they image it, as in when it comes to color and other just weird body things. We just don't know for sure, but color is one of the main things. Patterns, all sorts of weird stuff. Like, who knows what it really looked like? Spirits, have you seen? Can you travel back in time and see dinosaurs? Walk with him, kind of like you said. Female voice. How far, if you can travel back in time, how far back can a spirit travel? Yeah, and what about dinosaur ghosts? And yeah, what if demons are just dinosaur ghosts? Dinosaurs were intelligent enough to where they were almost like us, but not quite to where they could be so productive with their appendages. But who knows? Maybe they formed a primitive caveman-like intelligence, and demons are dinosaurs. Are demons actually the spirits of dinosaurs? Didn't some of them have three clawed uh, hands, for lack of a better term, whatever they call them for dinosaurs? That would be interesting if the three scratches is really just some not necessarily demonic, but just the spirit of a dinosaur. What do you know about dinosaur spirits? There's some ideas that dinosaurs never actually existed in some groups. I'm in the middle. I've been to some of the parks and they're really interesting. According to some people that are opposed to the idea and think that it's being made up, is that some stuff, these artifacts have been buried and then redug up again, and they're all just made up and faked and all this stuff. And I don't know. I personally, when I was a kid, I was so lucky. I got to go to Dinosaur National Monument, and they actually have part of the hillside they're digging in is in the actual event area, the museum, whatever that building's called. And so you can go in there and watch people as they're excavating and seeing them like in crazy layers of rock and stuff because they've exposed this one side of rock in this one area. That was well over 20 years ago, 25 years ago probably. So that place has probably really changed. Yeah, Dinosaur National Monument. So I don't know. I also living in Colorado, we get a lot of weird fossils, and clearly parts of Colorado was under the ocean at one point because you can go walking around on the hillsides and find a lot of fossils and rocks and stuff like that. It's really not uncommon to find a small seashell thing in a rock when you're just on a random hike in Colorado. So Colorado at one point was, and we're a mile above all the seashore, the sea line, everywhere. It's crazy. All right, let's kind of ask a few more dinosaur questions to see if the ghost box say like what happened to the dinosaurs. How did the dinosaurs die out, my spirit friends? The one just sound like, you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It even had inflection in the voice. Are you kidding me? Huh. That was a male one. Well, I know they're silly questions, spirits, but who knows? Who knows what? Maybe we don't know what we're dealing with. So I just like to ask a really wacky, broad range of questions in the long run. So, all right. One more dinosaur question, and then move on to another cryptid. We're gonna maybe go through some weird creatures for a bit. Dinosaur question. The radar that are currently living today, such as Loch Ness Monster, are there dinosaurs that are still surviving to this day? interference. Tapped. Are dinosaurs living into the current day? Do we have dinosaurs coexisting somewhere unknown, unfound? Depending on what happened or something what happened. It sounded like I it, dude. Okay, can we talk about Sasquatch? Can we talk about Yeti, Bigfoot, these tall ape-like creatures that people report? Even old cultures have reported these weird creatures. Can you tell us what you know of the Sasquatch, please? Yeah, exactly. In the form of those other creatures. What the spirit box said. Got a bunch of interference on that. That was weird. We have them out here in the Rocky Mountains. We have sightings of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Have you seen one of those spirits? Yes or no? I don't know why I'm getting this interference, guys. I apologize. I can't figure out why it would be doing that. Nothing's being uploaded. I'm all by myself right now. Check it out. In the Rocky Mountains, we have this area down. It's kind of the southwestern area of Colorado, called San Juan Valley, and it is infamous reports of these unmarked helicopters. Just in case I'm being tapped, let's talk about you. Yeah, these unmarked black helicopters that have flown around and been seen all over the place along the San Juan. And another old legend that still goes on to this day, and there's still reports, are cattle mutilations. Easy for me to say. And that's just something weird that's occurred all along the San Juan Valley, along with this weird occurrence of unmarked black helicopters. So if I'm getting buzzed by some weird Wi-Fi intercepting technique, what do you know of that stuff? So like I said, we know. Tell us what you know. Something gotta be. It's gotta be. Well, okay, so let's tie those questions together of what we were just talking about. We have these weird Sasquatch reports. We have these weird helicopter reports, and we have these weird cattle mutilations. I'm having a hard time saying that. Reports. Can you tell us, are these three things intermingled somehow? Do you know? You know, it's really interesting up in the San Juan Valley too, because the valley itself is super flat, and on either end, the west and east end, are the other parts of the Rocky Mountains. I don't know what those specific mountains are called because they have all the names for the peaks and stuff. But so when you're in this one town, in that area, any town really, um, it's just this huge flat openness all around you, and then on the far landscape, you see these giant mountains. It's a trippy looking area. And I can see that area being used for old spiritual practices. You just have this really interesting feel to the atmosphere when I go there. It is really weird. It's a weird place. It's just a weird sensation. And it's just basically nothingness, like Colorado prairies all around you. And then boom, these mountains way off in the distance. So it's a big valley. I don't know. It's actual. You can't like. It's funny when you look at it from Google Maps or whatever. You can't even really see the valleys and the different things that are in the mountains. Gotta zoom way in on them. It shows you how freaking large those things are. Spirits. Are Sasquatch a terrestrial creature? Is Sasquatch something that was born and is from planet Earth? That's like honeydew. I love talking and thinking about these kind of wild, wacky things, spirits. It's really easy too because I'm not really focusing. I'm not worrying about changing cameras or anything because this app will quiet and it becomes annoying to switch cameras. So I'm just gonna stay on this one. What else happens in the San Luis Valley? There's UFO reports, a bunch. What do you know about UFOs? Are Sasquatch extraterrestrial or are they extra or interdimensional? Extra dimensional or interdimensional? Is that what Sasquatch are? Are they foreign to this existence originally? Just so fascinating the things you ask this. Now that kid? Huh. I do look young. I'm not. I feel young as hell too. I guess you can refer to me as a kid. I totally feel very young in my like spiritual progression, and like inner self. Oh, it's not like I just said an F bomb. Are these weird cryptid beast-like creatures that people see all over the world? Are they from this planet originally? Or are they from another planet or another dimension? What do you know of that? All of them. Mothman, Dogman, Goatman, Bigfoot, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, Swamp, the Swamp Monkey or whatever they call it. All sorts of different ones. Are they all extraterrestrial, essentially? Hello? This Ghostbox been saying some really cool stuff. Whoa, that was a weird sounding one. Okay, so let's run with that thought, spirits. If all these crazy cryptids is just what we call all these creatures that we can't explain these days, an umbrella term, essentially. If they all are from another planet, another dimension. Can we get the names? Is there names for some of these places? Is there some sort of interdimensional, interplanetary super map where everybody knows the names? Can we name them?
And real.
Something about real?
What else, friend? Legit.
I just heard something, friend.
What are they?
I'm saying what I hear in English because this is all foreign language and then it's reversed. So it's wild when we're hearing English through Russian, Latin, and German, male and female variations of each. Like you would think, okay, coincidentally, you could acknowledge, yeah, okay, yeah, you're gonna hear them from time to time, but I don't think at this rate and plus this number of continual similar research patterns built at this point, it's so hard to argue to even think coincidence at this point. Coincidence starts to feel more like destiny after a while. It's really freaking weird.
I don't take on my shoes. No.
All right, well, now let's tie that into what our common thought. You say the name or the term alien or extraterrestrial, and immediately people picture the classic gray alien. That is clearly something that all our world society now has become somehow its popular view and image of this, and that is because the somehow is because that is the most common, like it's just a big common report that is developed forever. You know what's really interesting is in 1940-ish 40s, when they set off a ton of other bombs at the Trinity site besides like the original or whatever. They were doing a bunch, and they had a bunch of different names for the bunch of different uh, tests that they did. And one of the tests was called Grays. It like literally plural too, Greys. And you would, the way our military is, you would totally see them as that is the nickname that they gave them when all this stuff originally happened. The patterns of the Roswell incident and how 2 weeks before that, nobody even knew the term UFO or saucer until Kenneth Arnold. 2 weeks before the Roswell incident came out and it went worldwide, the term UFO and saucer, flying saucer. It's crazy. It's crazy. It all happened like all at that time. So why was that? Was it done on purpose? Was that done by extraterrestrial spirits, or was that done by humans? Did humans orchestrate the whole thing? Let's talk about that weird jazz. And what I like to find weird ironies and stuff, and one of the largest ironies in that UFO story, the flying saucer term coming out of Kenneth Arnold 2 weeks before the 1947 Roswell incident, or whatever year it was that he actually said that he was describing how they were flying, and he said they appeared as if you skipping a disc across water. So imagine throwing like a pie disc or something, and it skipped across water, and that was taken differently and misconstrued, and I guess a catchier headline came out, and so that wasn't the original intent of the words when it left his brain and his mouth, and really weird. So it's really weird how that became the popular name. It's a lot, man. Existence itself, each solitary existence is so complex, so many networks and variables and intersections of your thoughts and your ideas throughout your progress, along with everybody else's, from work, from life, from school, from family. It is loony.
Did you know Ah oui, et
It's really interesting too because there was, even though the military to this day denies it, and there's all that stuff, which is so questionable. I can't say one way or another. I still can't say one way or another for the entire existence of ET, extraterrestrial. And I have like, for me, it really helps with the belief in something when I have somebody like a mom or dad that believes and have seen and witnessed things, and it's a sure reality to them. I have way more easier time believing stuff like that. In that case, if I have to live through that person's tale and not have my own account. And so, yeah, for me, the reason I can't rule out extraterrestrial, even though I've never seen it, is my own dad and my own his mom, my grandma on that side, my dad's mom, both saw in southern Colorado. They both claim to have witnessed its classic silver cigar-shaped UFO hovering broad daylight in town, near town, or whatever, with a handful of other people too, in the middle of the afternoon in broad daylight. And generally, I even even if it was my dad, I could still kind of dismiss that off. But just knowing, like, let's say my dad had a different view, like just an average religious view or something. But my dad is, first off, super atheist, and he's fascinated with theology, but he's super atheist. He doesn't believe in ghosts or other energies of any manner. He thinks that it's all a load of bollocks and anything like that, anything supernatural. But he staunchly believes, and that's why it always sticks in my gut. It's like, did it really happen? Is it really real? Because he staunchly believes that what he saw was a freaking UFO. Because he wasn't by himself, so he was able to corroborate it right there in real time. And it's like, and when you hear like his belief, when you know him, and just this all of a sudden out of left field, it's like, yeah, oh yeah, like yes, UFOs exist, aliens exist, and it crashed at Roswell. And the reason we are at the advanced rate and speed and where we're at right now is because of all those incidents that happened on that fateful day. So it's really interesting. He's essentially an intense skeptic on anything and everything, ancient aliens, any sort of idea like that. But well, no, well, he doesn't. No, to see, that's interesting. I have to get into talking to him more about that because he believes more in modern mythos. He thinks that's kind of hogwash, though. He's one of those guys that's totally convinced that the Egyptians built the pyramids all by themselves using sweat. Yeah, he showed me this really interesting documentary where a group was able to slightly reproduce a part at an expected scaled down pace, and they showed that as they did it, they even in their short time they got a lot better and faster near the end. So if you could do it for like 20 years, who knows how fast and proficient you could really get it. But because of that, even though I've never experienced, man, I have that in the back of my head through my own cultural influences that my dad, Mr. freaking wannabe scientist guy, is, yeah, he really believes cell phones, all this crazy stuff, computers. We've been able to, and we probably still are, back back backward engineering stuff, reverse engineering. Spirits, yes or no? Was there a an extraterrestrial planet from a different planet that crashed on the New Mexico soil on that fateful day in Roswell, New Mexico? Yes or no? Guys, chat. Do it. Okay, let's just go with the assumption that they exist. We'll just run with that and ask questions in that manner. Are they experimenting on us, spirits? Oh, I'm so into ancient megalithic sites. I love them. I'm open to the ancient astronaut theory. I can't rule it out. I lean exotic as well, though. But I lean a little to the other side of the exotic. ancient megalithic site, where they come from and how we developed our knowledge is, long story short, ancient lost cultures. Call it what you want, whatever term you want, an ancient lost civilization that the remnants of them surviving in their advanced form um, after the ice age. Because there's just all these stories that go right along with the ice age, and the water levels rising and floods and all sorts of weird stuff that it just all kind of lines up. So I really love that, and I love thinking about ancient megalithic sites, and I really think there may have been, and I I was into that idea before I started getting into the esoteric world, and there's a lot of societies with secrets that literally believe some of these books, like the Book of Thoth, is knowledge passed down from the Atlanteans, and they refer to there's writings about referring to America as the New Atlantis, and there's a lot of stuff that's deep because that's a deep rabbit hole. You got to dig into that yourself. But so, what about other things besides aliens experimenting on us? What other things besides humans and cows do aliens experiment on? Huh, interesting. I could see that, man, because, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I'm sure they look at them like they're a bunch of nobbins for sure. The ideas are interesting and stuff, but I don't know. I just I can't say what the answer is one way or another. I'm fast. I got really into Graham Hancock, Robert Bouval, Dr. Robert Schoch. I love the Dr. Robert Schoch's ideas about the water erosion, that it's not sand erosion around the encasing of the Great Sphinx of Giza, that it or the Sphinx of Giza, that it shows actual water erosion, and it does. It looks like a downward pattern, and so that shows that water ran there a long time and a long time ago. If you want to go with climate wise, like when it was actually raining, it's some interesting stuff. A lot of those guys, yeah, Robert Bouval was the guy that came up with the idea of lining those crazy vents, those vents that nobody even knows why. The archaeologists think it may be for their their culture spirit of their king to travel up and down, but they're pointing directly to certain stars. I don't remember off the top of my head what stars. And then they started figuring out the whole arco astrological connections, and lining up the Sphinx with a certain date where the constellation of Leo would have lined up with the sun rising in the east or something like that. And I think that's along the lines to surmise it, and that's how Robert Bouval kind of came up with this interesting idea through a computer program aid as well, to simulate when that stuff would have happened, and that pushing the culture back to 20,000 years old at least, because of the equinox, stuff like that. Yeah, Robert Schoch, man, I really like Doctor. Robert Schoch's like one of the like true college doctor professors that will speak out against that stuff, because a lot of people are just scared to. Oh, Anthony West, John Anthony West, another great one. I love John Anthony West. That's how I started getting into the esoteric side of the introduction into that, after I've already knew that stuff of the ancient, but I didn't realize the esoteric connection until picking up a pack of tarot.
Not true.
Not true. That's like I said, not true. Or did you say nacho? We live in a really fascinating time, man. I wish I could not take it so much for granted. It's so hard to just let life fly by, and just things happen, and it's really hard to appreciate it. until it's gone.
Okay.
All right, spirits. Let's move on to another weird creature. I want to talk. It's kind of. They could be correlated. There could be an interesting intermingled connection between these two entities. We're moving now from extraterrestrial to shadow people. Can we talk about shadow people for a bit? What do you know about shadow people and so on and so forth? So my first question is, are shadow people real? Yes or no? We see different shapes of shadow people, different forms, different things, to where we basically come up with different categories. First off, are human-shaped shadow people. Why are they shaped like humans? Are they humans? What do you know about shadow people that are shaped like humans? I'm going to keep going down and asking. I'm going to continue with the human, and then I'm going to go down a line of different types of shadow people that are reported. And as I'm doing this, can you please label if they're dangerous and safe as well as I list these things? Let me know if they're real, dangerous, and or safe. Or I guess or safe, not and or dangerous and safe. Dangerous or safe. All right, so first one, human-shaped shadow people. What do you know about them? Are they dangerous? Are they safe? What do you know? Something about spirit. Sounded like it's really hard for me to make it out, but you guys are hearing it a lot better. Except when I get my weird feedback thing. I thought I heard people. So are they humans? Are human-shaped shadow peoples humans? Yes. Actual us. Okay, next shadow person. Besides the average shadow person that will just appear anywhere, we have a unique shadow person that's been kind of termed the peeker. Because for some reason, this shadow person peeks around corners or objects and doesn't seem to like to be seen. And one of the common reports is when they're seen, they disappear. So, what do you know about the peeker shadow? Are they good, bad? Tell us, what do you know about them? Are the peekers, are they just scared of us as we are of them? Okay. The next one that we're going to ask about, the next type of commonly reported shadow, is it good or bad? What do you know about it? This is called the Hat Man. There is a human-like shaped person that's generally wearing a coat and a hat, unlike the average shadow human where it's just a human shape and no discernible clothing or anything. Who or what is the Hat Man? Is he good? Is he bad? What do you know about it? It sounded like the ghost box just said good. I wonder if it picked it up. Getting some interference. All right, well, thank you. The next commonly reported shadow is now shapeless. It comes in the shape of a mist is the most common report. Some sort of strange mist that's dark in the shape of or colors of shadows. What is the mist shadow? What is it good? Is it bad? What do you know about it? I just heard hat sound like I gotta sneeze. Sorry guys, I'm gonna try to mute it. Oh man, sorry about that, spirits. I didn't mean to sneeze. I didn't sneeze on any of the equipment, thankfully. All right, well that's the mist shadow. Now, similar to the mist shadow, there is small animal creature shaped shadows that people have kind of reported, like the shape of cats or small dogs, but they tend to be small and even smaller than average dogs. Sometimes a lot of them are shaped, sized like hamsters or guinea pigs or rabbits. Maybe that's a good. Everybody, rabbit is a good picture. Smaller, weird animal-esque shadows. Are those good or bad? Are they animals? What do you know of that? No. She said no. Something about pet. Sound like a pet. Are they spirits of pets? Or animals in general? Not necessarily a pet, but. Thank you, Spirit. Some really interesting stuff coming out of this today. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. All right, we're going to round it out. Last spirit, last shadow. Commonly, I separate it in my kind of classification just because the human shape don't necessarily, people don't necessarily feel dread. Sometimes they feel dread with them, but sometimes they don't. But the last one is a human-shaped shadow generally, but what makes it completely distinct above all the different human shadows is it has glowing red eyes, other colors, but generally red is the most common, and an intense sense of fear and dread and paralysis a lot of the time is what accounts of these sensations are. So, what do you know of the red-eyed shadow? Is it good? Is it bad? What do you know of this? Sound like Hemotep or Emote or something. It sounds like a Egyptian name right there. That was interesting. I'm Hotep. Okay, Ulrich, I'm glad you caught that, man. That was interesting. Imhotep. Okay, off the top of my head, I'm probably wrong. Top of my head, I'm pretty sure that was the Egyptian king. Along, I don't know what dynasty or year or whatever, but he was I'm pretty sure he was the one that made monotheism. He got rid of all the other gods and was the first one to create a god. And in the ancient alien stuff, a lot of them think Imhotep was an actual alien because there's these weird carvings of him and busts of him where he has this kind of large cranium. And I guess they dug up his dang head, and he does have the weird kind of longer, not like you see in like South America, those crazy cranial deformations, but he had a larger weird cranium. So I believe that's Imhotep. I could be wrong. Yeah, interesting. Well, that's just a little bit about shadow people. So, can you say definitively, are they human or are they not human? Oh yeah, exactly. You have a statue, Slick. Yeah, he has an interesting eyes. His eyes, just the shape of his face in general. Hello, all newcomers coming in. Nice to see everyone. Hope everybody's good. Just doing some weird ghost boxing testing. I'm coming up with all sorts of weird ideas because I'm just kicking back and kind of looking at the chat from time to time and looking at the corner of my room and looking at games on a shelf and just kind of zoning out, thinking of some really interesting questions. And Ghostbox has been saying some weird stuff. Well, get out. So I'm like, why is get out a common thing? Spirits. We capture that on EVP. We get it on ghost boxes. We get the term get out, even if you're in your own place. Do you mean get out of this bridge of communication, or do you mean get out of my room? What do you mean get out? Yeah, just a general yeah. Well, spirits, I don't mean to step on any of your spiritual toes. Honestly, I'm just humbly here doing this funky experiment where we believe you're some sort of form of frequency or a wave of energy. It's similar to like a radio wave or an air wave. And it just through that line of thinking, it makes sense that you may be able to speak into things that kind of use similar um, phenomena that exists around us that we are constantly bombarded with that we don't see or feel or nothing. All of us have all sorts of airwaves in our room right now, and cell phone or mobile phone, all that fancy stuff. Pagers. Some of you still got pagers, I'm sure. Is that a good way to just explain what a spirit is? Is it's just a frequency of energy vibration? All right, so to wrap up our shadow person one more time, I had an interesting, I only had it happen once, but it was just the way it sounded. It was just so random. I asked where shadow people come from. And the answer that came out of the ghost box at the time was Io, literally spelled I-O, one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn. I believe it's Jupiter, but and all I can remember off the top of my head is that it's really highly sulfuric. It's a highly sulfuric moon. So if we were to go there and if we could survive and take a whiff of it, it would stink like rotten eggs or sulfur. And so that was just really interesting. Are things like shadow people or other weird things that we've termed as maybe evil or dark? Do they come from the moon of Io originally? See, it's awesome. I love it when we have these chats like this, guys, humans and spirits, everyone, because in certain groups, in certain esoteric philosophies, thinking like this is helps to increase your consciousness. It literally elevates the vibration of your consciousness by thinking interesting, universal, cosmic, weird, ancient time, anything like this weird, way out stuff, spiritual, religious, magical, whatever you things worth talking and thinking about. In certain philosophies, you literally are elevating your consciousness when you do this. You're vibrating in a higher uh, form of consciousness, and when you think like this, it helps to actually bridge the gaps between the spirit world and stuff. So, talking and thinking like this may help to just make communication easier as well. Is what I'm saying true, spirits, or is it a bunch of malarkey? Is there some truth ring into that?
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly believe that, man, because it's like you feel different when you're watching like stuff on how stars are made or something. Like especially when you're like when you don't have a ton of knowledge. Even to this day, I mean, I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I definitely have more knowledge of that stuff than I did 10 years ago. But I mean, I just that sensation you get that there's some weird chemical reaction going on or something, some sort of movement of your energy through your um, meridian grid system, like through your acupuncture style. Like, who knows, man? Like I said on past stuff, years ago, I practiced Tai Chi and other forms of Shaolin Wushu, and in that practice and philosophy, that's a branch. They have Buddhism tied into it as well, but essentially the main philosophy is that you're trying to master the cosmos and yourself through a balance of a proper mind and proper body. So you have to do all their spiritual mind stuff, but you also have to do all their kung fu wushu stuff, and that's why the soft fists, as in Tai Chi and the other soft forms, were developed so that elderly can continue to do that, and it's easier on the body, so the elderly monks and stuff originally could. Yeah, essentially you can do things like they call cultivating chi. You can your chi in their philosophy, your energy source is stored right under your navel in your belly, and you can do things like fill it up with more chi or use it to certain parts of your body. And it could be explained scientifically through the use of just moving your arms constantly for a half an hour. And then there's a practice when you close it, you put your hands close together and you can feel what feels like a magnetic ball in between your palms. It is a trip. Now, that may have something to do with lack of blood or something, but it's some sort of energy that feels like it's there, and you're supposed to kind of move that around in your hand and then slowly push it back into your navel at the end when you're all done throughout this one form that I did. But I'm not an expert on any of this crap. I took a little bit by pros, but once I learned the basics, I just started doing my own styles and stuff, because once you learn the basics, you basically can just practice easy stuff like Tai Chi and stuff like that anyway, in basic forms. Because I wasn't looking to become martial arts master. I just wanted to help balance my body, so and feel the benefits of that practice. So yeah, spirits, that's crazy, huh? Chi manipulation, the moving of our energy through our body. That was gas under the navel. I think it's just to the right. Yeah, in China it's called chi. In Japan, I believe it's pronounced ki, and it's spelled ki. But it is essentially what makes us breathe, what makes us move, what makes us do a lot of stuff. The Western culture has looked more deeper into the psychological side of stuff with the stuff that I got fascinated into talking boards, with the whole kind of unconscious, subliminal, subconscious letting go and just seeing what comes out of your brain. It's really freaking weird.
I know.
Hey, All right, spirits. No questions this time. I just want to hear you talk for a minute or two. We're gonna listen and just say whatever you can. Tell me if you like this, if you hate this. Tell me what you think about it. Tell us about yourself, your future, your past, your present, what you're feeling, anything. No questions. Just whoever can come over and talk into this. We just want to listen for a couple minutes. Please go ahead, spirits. Yeah, spirits. Keep going. I'll be right back, but keep talking for another minute, and I'll be right back, please. You're doing really good. Keep going. Say whatever you can. You can also look. I have the screen up with my friends' names. We we think that you may be able to also see and read as well as not. I mean, it makes sense, right? So those are friends that are watching and chatting. You can try to say their name and get messages to them too, because it seems like spirits act as go-betweens for, for in messages sometimes and things that other spirits need to tell other people. So I'll just be back. Keep going. You're doing really good, spirits. Oh shucks, you're doing so good, my spirit friends. All right, be right back.
wondering.
All right, so spirits, check this out. So we're talking about some interesting stuff, some mind altering stuff, and I don't promote that stuff. But I think it's very important that everybody has a free, open will and make up their own mind in the long run. I recommend um, research, no matter what you do, good or bad. Research it. Know what the heck you're getting into. But honestly, it's funny. It's been well over 20 years, probably more than that. I don't know exactly. It was probably about 18 or 20. So hell, that's like definitely 25 years. 29 in not too many months, technically, because I guess almost 30 years now. Because it had been maybe it was in my early 20s, but anyway. So I just stopped. I felt I experienced what I needed to experience and done. But a few years back, I actually started thinking maybe one day I would, if I could afford it, I would go down to South America and find places that actually do real legit shamanic experiences done at least according to their tradition and other sacred plant traditions, that you really shouldn't just like take this willy-nilly, and that it needs to be proper. You need to be guided. You need to have the proper guide to essentially he's the hermit in an experience like that, in the hermit from tarot. And okay, so this is how I started really thinking about maybe trying this. Is back when Ancient Aliens first came out, one of the people, he was on it for a few seasons, but he ended up tailing off because he started working other stuff. But one of the people they would bring on to talk about another angle, which I'm more fascinated with the ancient lost civilization, was Graham Hancock. And that's how I got introduced to Graham Hancock years ago when the first season of Ancient Aliens came out. And that's when I got introduced into that. Like the whole Atlantean lost civilization is nothing new, but to know that there was like a small handful of people that really appear sharp as hell, they very clever people, and they don't just come up with wacky ideas, they come up with wacky ideas that has correlations and weird interesting things. And Graham Hancock, in a nutshell, is so interesting because he didn't expect to become tied into an ancient lost culture ideology and start selling books and all that stuff, because he was originally a war correspondent or a war reporter or journalist, I think was the proper term. And so he was over in Ethiopia reporting on all the craziness over there, and he stumbled across, the name of the village eludes me right now, but there's a small village in Ethiopia that claims to contain, currently to this day, the Ark of the Covenant. And he started researching about that, and he started then learning about all the other weird stuff, and that's how he got into that idea, right? So I just latched on to that dude, and I found he was really interesting. That's when I found out about Robert Bouval, John Anthony West, Dr. Robert Schoch, and there's a couple other guys I'm forgetting. Those are the main ones. And their idea of civilization as we know it being much, much older, and a possible civilization that rose to greatness, that we are unaware of, that we don't know, that we haven't cataloged, that may have been way more advanced than us in a way we just can't comprehend. And taught us weird people at the time at the end of the Ice Age our knowledge. And that's why all the major religions have somebody teaching them, passing this knowledge to them. And they all have stories of the great deluge, the great flood. And a lot of them have the history of the pre-Diluvian civilization, stories of that, and it's just too many of them in a big spiderweb intermingled to really ignore that idea. And so Graham Hancock, he did what he felt was necessary in the world of ancient lost civilization. And he got to a point where he felt he sparked enough interest and he did enough work for himself that it was time for the next generation to take his work on and move forward with his stuff. So he effectively stepped away from that. I'm sure, I can't say for certain, but he may have written more books tied into that later. But for as far as I can tell, he removed himself from the ancient lost culture idea and has now been working with and writing books on ancient shamanic practices with sacred plants. And he's experienced it enough himself that he really feels that the shamans, what they're saying is true, that when you enter these other states of consciousness, not only are you seeing weird things, but those things are really existing in a different frequency, for lack of a better term. And some of these things are crazy high intelligences. And yeah, there's a really awesome artist that does ayahuasca inspired painting. I believe his name is Alex Gray. If I may be wrong, but Alex Gray, I think is, he does some really interesting ayahuasca inspired artwork. And this is stuff that people claim to see in their ayahuasca experiences. And so because of him and because of all that group of people and that interesting ideology that I really got fascinated with, I started following stuff he was saying and reading and writing and lecturing on and being interviewed with. And yeah, through him and his inspiration, I may do that one day because of that weird guy. If it wasn't for him, I probably would never even think about it again. But learning his experience and following him for years, and it's really freaking fascinating. You know, something that was life changing for him that happened to him is he used to be a big cannabis smoker, a giant cannabis smoker, supposedly. And supposedly, according to him, when he took his first ayahuasca experience, the entity he encountered told him and showed him more, for this is a better term, um, what the way he was over consuming cannabis was doing and affecting him. And instead of cutting back, his experience, claiming that these are his words, this is what he claims, his experience literally altered his physiology of his lungs and his body to where right after that he tried taking a hit and he literally got sick. He coughed tremendously bad, felt pain, and got sick. And he never has smoked it since, says him. And that is because of his ayahuasca experience. So, man, I don't know. It's interesting stuff. I'm not promoting it. All I'm saying is research it. That's all I've been doing for years now. Whenever Ancient Aliens came out, I don't even know, probably like a decade now. It was probably a year or two max after that that I started to really explore all that stuff. And then a couple years later, he tailed off. He and started doing his other stuff. Like, yeah, it's really, and that's when I started listening and really getting into Terrence McKenna, among others. There's another one for you. Some really interesting. And now in my esoteric endeavors, to find out that there is a lot of on video on YouTube as well, Terrence McKenna discussions about the alchemical process that these esoteric societies with secret so greatly withhold from the regular culture, except now with the internet, it's everywhere. But yeah, so spirits, what do you think about all that? That's pretty wacky, huh? We're gonna go just a little bit longer, spirits. Not too much longer. We're gonna be wrapping it up. So I thank you in advance. Well, keeping this one a little short today, since because I'm not doing camera changes at all. I'm gonna keep it very soon. I'll be wrapping it up in about on the hour, I think, spirits. So I want to thank you. Thank you, my spirit friends. Anything else you have to say before we go? Let's talk about it. Is there anything I can do to help you in the end here? To help you maybe move on? Yeah, that too. That's a really interesting one too. Yeah, I've read a lot more. Yeah, because of Terrence McKenna about that as well. Well, I thank you, spirits. I thank you so much. Did you have fun today? Was this an interesting experience for you? Getting that weird interference briefly. If you have any last messages you want to try to get to a loved one or any of us watching, anyone, if you just want to say anything, here's your chance for the next couple minutes, spirits. Please go ahead. Sorry, I misspelled that. Sorry, the second one is the second one is I might have misspelled it again. It's Extreme Senses. Extreme Senses. Just do a search for extremesenses.com. Infinity Box. Oh, hello, friends. Hello, hello. Maybe I'll go just a little bit more. Maybe I'll go another half an hour, guys. Let's go another. I was gonna end it on the hour, but let's go just another half an hour. We got a couple of stragglers showing up, and a handful of people watching. Let's go another, 15, 20, half an hour. Something box. This is called the Infinity Box, spirits. Yeah, since we're going a little longer, I can explain. Yeah, I got to earlier. I ran nothing but whispers, and it was really interesting on the Infinity Box. This has been an entire Infinity Box, deep down and dirty session, and so part of it, the first part is whispers, and then the middle part is a mix of whispers and these sounds you hear now, which are reversed foreign languages: Russian, German, Latin, and now for the last third, the we've been doing the last part for a while, just the foreign languages reversed. So it's a mix of male and female voices, Russian, Latin, and German reversed, and then coming out of this weird box. Yeah, we'll go a little bit longer, guys. Do you have any messages you need to get across to anybody watching? Yeah, hello all newcomers. Greetings, greetings. We like this something. We like that. It's been pretty warm sounding, so maybe I'll go a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm not changing camera because it would quiet the ghost box each time. So I've just been. I turned this sucker on and we've just been running it. Did, did they not end up making a customizable version? Yeah, I never known for sure. I haven't really looked too far in. I got lucky because first, so I got real lucky just because I don't know him personally per se, but at that time I tested out a Ghostbox forum, so I knew his email and stuff, and I just shot him. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm willing to pay for it. I'll pay you what you wanted because I guess people, it was a little too advanced at the time, which is, I think, really interesting and shows you the progression of this field. Is that this box is now what people want. They want more customizable. It seems like they want. At least it seems like people, they wouldn't argue it. They would welcome to the ability to know what sound banks you're using and then to control those sound banks some. I think that's a good feature. And I think no matter what, I think a lot of ghost boxes should have. Maybe not all. It's up to everybody. Should have their own decisions and stuff. But I don't know. It's just my weird stuff. So yeah, this is definitely one of my upper ghost PC ghost boxes because I know what's up with it. Do you want to tell us your names again? Let's try to get some names again of who we've been talking with today. Let's listen. We're gonna listen for as many names as we can. Say it over and over if you can. Go ahead. Thank you, spirits. I really appreciate these attempts. I apologize. I apologize if you've been trying and you haven't got through. Okay, it's always possible. I can't see the interactions. I just have to listen for weird words. It's saying all sorts of weird stuff, man, and that's why I can't. I basically have to throw out coincidence at this point for reverse foreign languages coming up with so much English sounding stuff. It's crazy. I got you. Do you say I got you? Do you got me, spirits? What do you mean? You got me? You understand me, or do you got my soul? Something pip pip. Pip pip. Greetings, buddy. All the stragglers popping in. Hello, hello. We're going for a little bit more. The ghost box is warm as heck right now. It's been saying all sorts of stuff throughout the different sounds I've been using too. Spirits, should we go back to whispers? Should we go back to whispers for a little? Let's do some whispers for a little. Switch it up. We've been doing. We started with whispers, then went to whispers and voices, then to voices. Now let's go back to whispers. Let's do eat. How's that sound, my spiritual friends? It's a little louder, so I can turn it down. Oh wait, oops, I didn't load it. Duh. I have to open it. I just selected the name. There we go. All right. So what was interesting about the second time when we use a combination of whispers and voices is Aaron was watching, and it said Aaron sounded like it said his name a handful of times, but I don't remember it saying his name when we were using just the whispers. So that's really stood out. So now we're going back to the whispers. Let's see if we hear that same style and stuff. It was kind of drawn out in a couple of times, but they were slightly different. They weren't exact same. It was weird. All right, whispers now. Spirits. This is what your voice sounds like too when we record it. Thank you for joining us, my human and spirit friends, wherever you are at on this rock that we are firmly planted on currently. Told that we are flying through space at a tremendous speed all the time while we're spinning at some ridiculous speed. So yeah, use these weird sounds, these weird phonetics. Try to manipulate them. Let's do another Rusty test. Let's see if we can get my name through the whispery. Can you say Rusty so you can give me a high five? It's weird when it gets long gaps in it. That's what she said. Speed it up just a little. Sound like it said get out, drawn out, get out. Can you try to say rusty, guys? Let's see if we, one more time before the session ends. Wrap it up. I was watching a really interesting press conference when George Meek revealed his ITC experiments to the world, and he claimed through his research that some spirits can control the vibrations, but some are completely unaware as they're vibrating up and down in the cosmic scale of spiritual vibration. But some of them are some of them. His example was that the person that he was claiming, this doctor he was claiming to speak through his ITC device, eventually his consciousness kept elevating and he vibrated at too high of a frequency to where he couldn't communicate anymore, and they lost all communication with that spirit. So, and according to him, that was an uncontrolled thing that the doctor wanted to try to stay, but he just kept elevating in his consciousness through the spirit realm and vibrating higher and higher, that eventually they weren't able. Their he keeps referring to his devices as in their infancy, that it was crude devices, and they just didn't have the technology and devices to get it out. It's really interesting. George Meek National Press Conference, 1982. Really interesting. All right, well, let's try to get your name now through this mixture of just all whispers. Who have we been speaking with? Who are we speaking with now? Who are you, please? I'm something. That was awesome. Thank you. Sounded like a name. It's like Rusty. I'm listening real quick. He was like, Rusty, I'm here, guys. Does it help if you tell me stuff about how you passed away? Does that help you vibrate to a higher spiritual frequency or realm? If so, tell us how you passed away. It's like getting something off your chest, getting your thoughts out. What happened to you? How did you become a spirit? I'm not sure why I keep getting this weird interference, guys. I apologize if you're hearing weird interference today. It's happened a handful of times now, and I don't know why, because I'm literally not doing anything different except just not sitting at my chair or whatever. But I mean, all the speakers, I've used this speaker a billion times, this headset a bunch. Is that a spirit that is passing through here when we get that interference? What is that? That was another get out sounding, but different. What is making that interference? Do you know? Who is making it? Yeah. Are you always around me? Spirits, are you constantly around me? Are you do you only come forward or present in this dimension when we start this, when I ask for spirits to communicate? Is that the only time that you're actually here? Come on. I don't know what's going on with this. It sounds so weird. I can feel it in the speaker when it does that. Okay, so here's what the sound pack is me. What I did is I sat down and tried to just make I probably there's probably a couple word sounds that slipped out just because I tried to just sit down and for like 10 minutes just say a bunch of gibberish in whispery voices and a bunch of just weird phonetics and stuff. And then I took that, edited it in program, chopped them into smaller bite sizes and slapped like reverb and stuff onto them. And then I put them on, loaded them into the sound banks of the Infinity box. And then I hit reverse all on the Infinity box. So all of my weird, just phonetic sounds that I was trying to make is now being reversed. So that's really interesting when we hear words through that process. That really lends credence to the idea and philosophy that they're bending or molding these sounds and manipulating them in a manner that is light years beyond our comprehension of everything. But I can't say for certain. You know, I'm not here to tell you. In the end of the day, I just point out my observations and I don't know. And it seems to be through doing this now for online for a couple years, especially being exposed to so many ideas and philosophies, that it's a really kind of flexible transmutation of stuff that is it's just constantly changing and transmuting. So yeah, it's fascinating. Is what we believe the most common human spirit? Is that what will happen to every single person that dies? Yes or no? It's fascinating. The stuff that's come out of this freaking thing has been so fascinating. Do you see what the camera is pointing at? Do you see that little green statue in the middle of the screen? Can you tell me who is that statue of in the middle of the screen? I'm pointing at it in real life and in the screen. That green shiny statue. Who is that? Spirits, do you know? Weird, it's being all weird. Who is that? It's like I said, ball. It's Buddha. It's imitation jade Buddha. Spirits. The glowing ball. what's your most favorite color on that glowing ball? What's your favorite color out of those? It's like I just said pink. I like blue and green. Orb. It's like orb, kind of. Edna or maybe get out. It's saying some crazy stuff. That's what I thought too. Besides internet connection, I immediately thought maybe it's my computer, and it does slow down and get hiccups when I do updates. So, or maybe maybe there's a virus scan going on, like a scheduled virus scan. I don't know. I don't see anything in the taskbar, but I'm wondering if it's something along those lines that is exactly it's heat, it's whatever milking the processor and making it so it's just the actual processor. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting. It's weird, and I'm sorry. I apologize if it's been annoying. Adam? Did that sound like Adam? Is there an Adam here? I am, maybe? How old are you? Whoever is saying this, how old are you? Can we get an age, please? That's what it sounds like over here. Maybe it is my damn phone. Here, I'm gonna turn my phone off. Maybe my phone's getting like some push notification or some crap. So nothing's coming in, but it doesn't happen anymore. It could have been my phone this whole time. It was a good 10 feet away, but huh. Well, Adam or whatever spirit I'm talking with, what happened to you? How did you become a spirit, a ghost, another form of consciousness? How did this happen to you? All right, cool. You guys don't mind. Yeah, that's cool. You guys are awesome. Oh, that was weird. It sounded like a ball being thrown against a wall and something dropping. That was weird. Do you experience pain in the spirit form? Do you experience pain at all or suffering? If you do, how severe is that pain? If a spirit is experiencing pain, does that pain last forever or is it short term? Since you're able to communicate with us, you know the term dead is outdated. You're just a different form of consciousness, different form of energy. You're not dead technically, right? Since it seems like you retain your mental faculties, your personalities, your memories. Dead. That's you in a different state of existence. true? Weird interference, right again. Is it true some spirits do not know that they are dead, my spirit friends? I'm hearing weird stuff come out. It's gonna be interesting. Spirits. Do ones attempt communication with the spirit world? Do they put themselves in harm in any way? My ears bleeding. Yeah, sorry about that. And some of them are louder than others. I don't know why. I guess I could turn it down. Is is there a possibility that I'm going to harm myself by trying to communicate with the spirit world? Spirits, a weird interference we keep getting. Is that you? Is that just another form of communication? Yeah, like the wow signal. So weird. Well, I thank you, spirits. We are going to wrap this up shortly now. I just wanted to go a little bit longer, but we are going to wrap it up shortly, okay? Have you had a good time? Every spirit that I've tried to communicate with and have tried to communicate with me, have they been able to successfully get through the box? Is there any closing messages you would like to get to me, a loved one, a friend watching right now, anyone across the world at any time? If you have a last message you want to get across, please go ahead. Let it go a couple minutes. Keep going, spirits. You're doing good. Is there anything I can do to help you at all? Are these solar flares that are making the interference? Bursts of solar energy, is that making the interference? solar, if it's a solar flare, is it increasing your ability to communicate with me? It's not like is. Awesome. It makes sense. Makes you stronger, huh? Maybe? Yeah, that was a longer one, that last one. It was right as I asked the solar question too. Causing, if it's what's causing. That's it. It's kind of sounding like really faint. What about the moon? The moon's been closer than normal. We call it super moon. Has that been heightening paranormal activity? All right, spirits. Well, thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up, my spirit friends. So I want to say goodbye to you and thank you. If you'd like to say your goodbyes and thank yous, here's your chance. So thank you for communicating. My spirit friends, go ahead. Okay. Hello? Got all quiet. Anything else, spirits? Before we go, it's your chance. It's getting all super quiet at the end. What the hell? Really weird. All right. Well, thank you, my spirit friends. I'm closing down the session. I'm closing down the line of communication, the bridge we have between our two realms of existence. I appreciate and humbly thank you for all your attempts that you've attempted to attempt with me. So I hope you have a good day, an afternoon, or evening. Please go back from where you came. Please don't harm me, myself, my family, around anybody around that I interact with, neighbors, anyone. So my friends watching, please leave all them alone, everybody and anyone, and please go back from what dimension hence you came. So thank you so much, spirits. Thank you everyone in chat. Yeah, ran the infinity box the whole time. I got to do the complete whisper pack, then a mix of whisper and sound foreign language reverse pack, and then primarily just for foreign language reverse pack, and then rounded it back out with a complete whisper pack. So very interesting, very cool, and some interesting stuff said. And yeah, I just felt like running a quick kind of few hour session in the early afternoon and see what happens. So I thank you, everyone that checked this out. Thank you from the future. Future people, thank you. People that hung out the whole time, thank you. People that straggled in, thank you. You all know who you are, you lovely people. So until next time, you know the skinny, you know the drill. Take care of yourself, take care of one another. Keep asking questions, keep researching, keep digging around, get your fingers dirty. All right, guys, take care. Goodbye. We'll see you later. Rest Reporter signing out.